Good morning and welcome to another episode of Wild West Homestead. To recap, we're renovating a 1983 mobile home, piece by piece, step by step, using DIY strategies, things I've learned over the years in my time of becoming a handyman. And in today's episode, we're going to be starting by finishing off our last batch of homemade trims. So we've been showing this before. I'm not going to show you again how to do this. I think that would be boring. This is about learning, not just repetitive same things over and over. So we're gonna get this all sanded up. We're gonna do the same processes again, get them all ready, and while this is all drying, we can go in and do our third and final coat of mudding and taping. Yesterday I was in the mobile home and I was able to do the second coat of mud. I was able to do the California patches. If you want to learn how to patch drywall, I'm going to make a separate video just for the California patch. It's going to be included in the video and you're going to see how to do it, but I will also make a separate video. Okay, we're back to this patch location here, and now's the time. We got the drywall and the supplies to do this patch. This is going to be another educational moment. I'm going to show you, if you have a hole like this, any size, smaller, bigger, whatever, you can use this type of patch. If it's most effective used in between studs where there's not a stud close and nearby, but you identify your damage, okay? Everywhere that's slightly broken, you need to go, when you cut out your new piece, it has to go beyond that, at least maybe half of an inch, doesn't really matter, but go beyond what the damage is. So if you can see here, I've already outlined the cutout that we're going to do. So you're going to take your tape measure, you're going to measure the same on the top and the bottom, and you're also going to take a measurement and you're going to get the same measurement here as you do on this side, so you have a perfect rectangle or square if that ends up being what you're doing. So the next step in that would be to use a utility knife, trace out your lines and cut that paint seam. Then so we're going to use this here. Bear with me, I'm holding the camera, there's not really a good spot to set it up. So we are going to trace all these lines out with the alpha knife. Then we are going to come back and we're going to use a drywall saw to cut that hole out. So I'm going to put the camera down and I will show you an update when the bad piece is out. Okay, now that we got a nice clean hole cut there, we got some loose paper, so we're going to have to take an alpha knife and we're going to have to V-cut or back notch all of these corners. But we cut this out so the measurements were the same, so we've taken those measurements and now we'll translate them onto the drywall and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, next step, like I said, take your alpha knife and we're going to clean the edges of this. Okay, just like that. So that's what we want to see there now. I'm going to sweep things up and I'll show you the next step. Okay, so our measurement was 5.5 inches by 11 inches. So we're going to have, this sheet of drywall is much larger than that. It's a partial piece I bought from the hardware store damaged at a discount, so it saved me money and it was easier to transport. So we want to add 2 inches to that. So we're going to measure the 11 inches plus the 2 to 13. We're going to cut this board off and then we'll trim the other side. So there's our 11, there's our 13. Mark that off. We're going to use our T-square. This side over here is factory, so we can put this up against there and use that as a straight edge. So we line up our straight edge T-square to our line. Take a sharp Olfa knife. Don't put too much blade out. Lock her in place if you have a lock. And slice that skin of the drywall using the straight edge as a guide. Maybe do it 2 or so times. Then what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to pick that drywall up and you're going to be able to snap it. So we have that scored. I'll do my best to do this one-handed. So we stood our piece of drywall up. There's our line that we've cut through all the way down. So I'm going to set you up over here. Hopefully you guys can see. I'm going to take this drywall. I'm going to put my hand on the left hand side of this line. I'm going to push this way, and this hand here is going to push forward. And that drywall is just going to crack right in too. Then what you're going to do is you're going to go to the other side, and you're going to take your Olfa knife and you're going to cut the paper on the back side using the thing as a seam. There we go. So we got 13 inches. So this piece can be put away for our other patch. Now we're going to cut this one to its size. So we have our 13 inches. We're going to pay attention to our factory edges and use those. So our measurement was 5.5 plus 2 inches is 5, 6, 6, 7. Hey, why aren't you guys laughing? My kids would have laughed. I know it's a lame joke and the kids need to stop saying it, but sometimes you just got to have fun. So 5.5 inches plus 2 is 7.5. So again, we marked it off. We're using our straight edge on a factory seam so that we're making sure that, see, that one's the one that we cut. So we're going to flip this around. And there's my mark there. So we're going to use our factory edge as our straight line. And we're going to take our sharp Olfa knife. We're going to do a score. And a score. Then we're going to take our drywall. We're going to do the same technique again. So our left hand, our right hand, we're going to snap that drywall. And then let me move this. Okay. Take your knife, cut down the seam. There's our piece we need. Before we get too crazy, let's take some measurements here. So we should be 13 long, which we are. We should be 7.5 wide, which we also are. Now comes the magic. Front drywall, back of drywall. We need to mark the back of our drywall, not the front of our drywall. We need to mark that 5.5 by 11 on the back of this. So we left an inch overhang, so we should be able to mark at 1 inches, and we should also be able to mark at 1 inches, which ends up being 12. We take our measurement in between those, and we have our 11, so we're good. That makes sense. That's good. So now we have to do the other way. So we have an inch, and we have an inch. We'll just do that all sides. Okay, we got our corners all identified. Now we're going to use a straight edge and we're going to connect the dots. So we're going to go between those two lines. We're going to go between these two lines. I just heard the school bus come. The kids are here, so I don't have much longer to work today. Mark this one. And last one is this one. And in a perfect world, we will have a 5.5 by 11 rectangle. 11 by 5.5. Okay, next step. Olfa knife. Cut through the drywall, but not all the way through the drywall. We want to keep the paper intact. So you got this step is the most critical of the whole thing. So score your line. You're going to need to score your line several times. Okay, working our way around. That's once all the way around. Let's go again. And again. We're pretty close. We're going to stop there. Then this side. Okay. This side. Okay, that side's been done. This side. The rectangle is scored. Next step is to cut the corners, all 4 of them, starting from the corner of your rectangle out. Okay, scoring should be done. This is the most crucial phase out of it all. If you screw this one up, throw this thing in the trash and start again. So just like we were doing before, you need to break the drywall. Let's break the drywall all the way around. Okay, drywall is broken. Now you're going to grab this drywall and you're going to peel this thing off, and you don't want to rip the underneath skin. So we're going to go ever so careful. Okay. Now this one. If you wreck it a little bit, it's, you can make it work. Sorry, I'm not talking. I am all hands on deck concentrating. I have one little rip, but that's not going to cause a problem. This is very, very, very delicate work. You are not in a rush doing this. Sometimes you got to close your eyes, put your tongue in the right spot, and you got to do all the little tricks just to get this to work. Some people don't like this method because of this, but I think that it's a better patch. Okay, now we have a piece of drywall that has a built-in tape. We'll show you the next step. Okay, so that's been cleaned up and prepared. We have our drywall mud. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to apply a liberal amount of drywall mud all the way around this here. And when I mean liberal, I mean put a lot of mud in there, because if it is dry and there's no mud and there's air in there, your tape's not going to stick to your wall and it's going to look terrible. So make sure you apply a thick set of mud on there. So we're going to take our bucket of mud, we're going to put some on, and we are going to go around and put a very okay, so you're going to take a nice liberal amount and you're going to apply mud at least 1 inch wide, because that's how wide your paper is going to be. You're going to do 1 inch on your corner. As I was saying, you apply your thick bead of mud all the way around, making sure that you have lots of mud on the wall. Especially the corners. Okay, that step's done. Put your drywall away, or your mud away for a second. Got the piece that I need, making sure that it's clean all the way around, all the paper's free and clear. We're going to carefully set this in the wall. We already double checked that this fit also. You're going to want to level this so that it's good to your wall, making sure that your drywall is in the correct location. Then, this paper is extremely thin. There's no drywall behind it, so when you trowel this, do it one time and do not continue troweling over it. You will wear that paper out and cause nothing but problems. So we're going to set this corner, set all the corners. That has to go in just a little further. Okay, let's get our mud. We're going to have lots of squeeze out just because of the way that we did this. So there we go. That paper ripped off, so we're going to get rid of it. Here, we're going to go all the way around here and making sure that we squeeze all of our mud out. Okay, we're going to leave that. So then we're continuing to squeeze all of that extra mud. Remember, I put a lot of mud behind there, so you got to squeeze that out. Working our way around, cleaning up. If the odd stuff hits the ground, it is okay. It's not going to hurt anything. But we're going to make sure that the corners are really set in and we have squeezed all of that mud out. Don't worry about getting it perfect, because we're going to let this dry and then we're going to do our 3-coat system. So we're going to leave it just like that. We're going to scrape this one more time. And we're going to try and get rid of just some of this excess mud so we don't have to cut it out or deal with it later. Actually, we're going to leave that. We don't want to ruin our paper. So that is the first step. We have installed our patch. So that's going to have to dry for quite some time now. So we're going to let that dry. And while that's drying, we can do other projects and we'll come back to mudding the first coat on that. Okay, we're back to the 1983 mobile home renovation. Yesterday I was showing you guys the step-by-step instructions how to do the California patch. So if you missed that, you should go back and probably watch that video. But if you have watched that and you're up to date, so I let this dry overnight. All this mud is super rock hard. There was a lot of mud. It takes a long time to dry. So, and then what I did was, when I came back this morning, I had my 4-inch wide putty knife and I knocked down all the rough edges on there, but nothing serious. So what I got here now is I got my mud mixed up and ready to go. I got an 8-inch trowel now, so I'm going to use my 4-inch trowel to apply mud onto here, and I will be smoothing this out with the 8-inch trowel. Hey guys, this is where we're going to end this week's episode. We're out here in the greenhouse, and I thought I'd quickly show you the greenhouse. Thanks for watching all the way to the end of this video. It means a lot. I'm a young YouTuber, just getting going, but I'm really liking the feedback that I'm getting so far and the growth that I've made so far, so thank you all for that, and much appreciated. Yeah, we're going to end this video. We're continuing our projects, and we're going to aim for another video on Wednesday. If you're watching this video, you've already seen it go live, but we're dropping a video before this one on that California patch. So if you haven't watched that, you can go and check it out. But if you haven't, what I've noticed looking at the analytics is a lot of people are watching that aren't followers. So if you're watching this content and you like it, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so that you know when the next one's coming out. And keep an eye out for premieres. You can also sign up to watch those and get a notification when it goes live. So please like, share, comment, all those fun things to help me make this dream a reality. With that, I'm going to shut up, and I'm going to exit with a little showing of our greenhouse.